Hi, good morning, dear viewers. Once again, I want to welcome you here in my channel XGW Freedom Fighter. For this episode that I'm going to discuss is somewhat a continuation of my very first video that I have uploaded this year, January 2020. And the topic of that video is regarding the very peculiar practice of the Jehovah's Witnesses of not accepting blood transfusions even in their life and death situation. And the doctor told them to accept blood transfusions because that doctor may need that the patient may need that blood transfusion when the doctor do their operation on them, or if they have suffered, if the witness has suffered a fatal accident. So for this episode, what I'm going to relate is again my personal experience when my wife has been operated because of her illness. And because my wife is so firm in her resolve to uphold his belief of not accepting blood transfusion because of the indoctrination of the Watchtower, I just conceded and supported her in that decision, even though at that time I already know that this kind of teaching is not based on reason, not based on scientific facts, and more importantly, not based on the Bible, as the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses is claiming that they are upholding the law of God regarding not eating of blood. So that is the case. But before I relate what are the things that I have discovered regarding the deception when it comes to the propaganda of the Watchtower about blood, what they call blood substitutes, let me give you an information regarding this practice of not eating blood within the churches or groups of other religions in the world. For example, in the religion of Islam, the Muslims do not eat blood. For them, it is haram. They call it haram or forbidden in their Quran to eat blood because as it was stated in the Quran, as I read that book twice, it is forbidden on the basis that it represents life, just as it is written in the Bible. So the Muslims do not eat blood. It is a very important part of the religion. But then the Muslims, when they are in a medical emergency that needed blood in order for them to survive the situation or the accident, they accept blood transfusions. So for them, for the Muslims, their accepting blood transfusion is not contrary to their belief regarding not eating of blood. So there is no contradiction in that. They are not afraid That is the only reason. They are not afraid to die if it is for their religion. We know the Muslims, they are always ready to die for the religion. So, if for their opinion, the eating of blood and blood transfusion is just the same, we can be assured that they will not accept blood transfusion. So, it is just that. It is just that. Like that. That they don't consider it as an equivalent. Blood transfusion, for them, is not an equivalent of eating blood. So, that is the Muslims. And another big religion that do not eat blood because it is forbidden in the religion is the Jews, especially the Orthodox Jews. This race is the race of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Jews. For our Lord is a Jew. So, the Jews is very meticulous when it comes to not eating blood, not putting blood, or allowing any blood to their food. For example, if they're going to serve steak, they will make it sure that no vein or part of the meat has a clotted or blood clot on it. They will remove it, pick it up from their meat when preparing their food, so that they can be so sure that no blood comes to their food. That is the Jews. So, that they are very meticulous about not eating blood. But then, when it comes to medical use of blood, they are accepting blood transfusions. So, well, are we going to say again that the Jews are afraid to they are just afraid to die? That is why they are violating the principle of not eating blood, as it was reflected in their Torah? No. It is not like that. It is just that they don't consider blood transfusion as an equivalent to the actual eating of blood. So, they are accepting blood transfusion. And what about the Christians group? It is not yes, it is not only the Jehovah's Witnesses who do not eat blood. There are so many Christians group that do not eat blood because of their religion. And one of that is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The Seventh-day Adventist Church is so well known regarding their meticulous diet, because they refuse to eat many foods because of the belief. And included on those things that they are not allowed to eat is the eating of blood. So that is the Seventh-day Adventist members. But then again, the SDA or the Seventh-day Adventists accept blood transfusion when the doctor prescribed it in order for them to have a healthy body or to survive any sickness or accident. So again, are we going to accuse them of just being afraid to die because of their will just set aside their belief? No. It is just that the Seventh-day Adventists do not consider blood transfusion as an equivalent to the provision or prohibition in the Bible of not eating the blood. And that is also the case with regards to the members of the INC or the Iglesia ni Cristo Church, which is being registered here in the Philippines on July 14, 1914 by Felix Manalo. So, the members of that very big church, international church, the Iglesia ni Cristo, is also not eating blood because of their belief. And their administration is so strict about that to enforce that precept from the Bible, and they will disfellowship you from among their church if you ever eat blood, if you are a member of the church. So they are so strict regarding that law and the Bible. But they accept blood transfusion when the doctor prescribe it to them. So that is the case. But then the Jehovah's Witnesses has this very peculiar viewpoint regarding that law from the Bible, and they enforce and insist their opinion that it is, according to them, unequivalent. So it's only an opinion because it is not clearly stated in the Bible that blood transfusion is prohibited for Christians. Or the Bible has been completed in the 1st century, and the science of blood transfusion or the technology is being invented and developed almost 2,000 years later. So we will not be surprised if it is not in the Bible. So it is just an opinion. So now back to the situation of my wife. When I sought the help of professionals or best doctors to handle her situation of making an operation to her without using blood products. In fact, we consulted three consultant doctors. They are not residents, they are consultants, and Barry now has a very long experience in treating patients. So when we consulted them, they are unanimous in telling me and my wife that there is no such a thing as a blood substitute. And they're referring to the oxygen carrying capabilities of the hemoglobin, which is found in the red blood cells of the whole blood compound. So on that moment, it came to my mind the very phrase that the Watchtower is using regarding blood substitutes. They use that, they coined that terminology, blood substitutes. But these doctors told us that even to this moment that the science and the medical profession is so advanced, man has not yet discovered or invented a substance that will replace the function of the red blood cells with its hemoglobin, who carried the oxygen to supply it in the body. So when a doctor prescribes blood, primarily, or we can be sure that it is an emergency situation, and primarily they prescribe that, especially in major operations and accidents, for the purpose of replacing the volume of oxygen or oxygen saturation in the body. Because if our body is being depleted of enough oxygen, we will simply die. So that is the reason of prescribing blood to their patients. So these doctors told us that there is no yet a substance being invented to replace that function of the red blood cell. So I was so shocked at that moment, because I have been an elder for so many years and teaching this to our congregation, that there are blood substitutes.